Hi everyone, and welcome to another Hearts of Iron 4 video. This is actually my first YouTube video and first tutorial about Hearts of Iron, but I do plan to upload more content over the next few days and weeks. Now we are playing on the latest patch, and we're going to play with Italy. We are going to start in 1936. And we are playing on Iron Man mode and with historical AI focuses. Now, the strategy that I want to suggest today is a strategy that we are going to follow in order to get the Roman Empire by around mid to late 1940. And now I know that on YouTube you can already find a lot of strategies on how to get the Roman Empire much earlier than that. In fact, you can get it as early as 1937. If you rush the right focuses, maybe cheese the game a little bit, some of the mechanics at least, or if you're particularly good at managing your units. Now, since I'm fairly new to the game, I'm not very good at micromanaging my units, I wanted to offer an alternative strategy with, let's say, a more natural pace, which will still get us the Roman Empire, but we will not be skipping on industrial-related focuses, infrastructures, advisors for the government, and especially we don't need to hold multiple fronts, say with France and Yugoslavia at the same time, or being particularly good at managing our units. So, what are we going to do instead? Okay, so let's start with our setup, and I will start with the army first. So I will create 3 separate armies, although the important ones are these last 2. And then I will assign all of the divisions from the first army to the other 2. All of the Alpini divisions will go to the first one, and as well as a couple of infantry divisions here. Everyone else can go to the southern army. We'll also join them and assign them a marshal, which will be Rodolfo Graziani. For the first army, I like to have Visconti Prasca, he's my favorite general. And for the second army, I will assign Francesco Zingales. That being said, we can assign them a front line and an offensive order. We'll go for an offensive splinterhead, actually. Try to get Addis Abeba or the rest of Ethiopia as fast as possible. I will also change the motorization priority on Rodolfo Graziani, as well as make the offensive order be executed in an aggressive manner. Okay, then I would say our armies are now ready. Let's move on to the A-planes. Now, for the air divisions, I actually like to initially disband all of them and assign them again. So I will set 100 fighters and about 100 tactical bombers in the southern part of Ethiopia. Everything else will go to the northern part, but then we will actually split them. So we'll send 100 to this area, as well as maybe 3 of these. No, well, that's a bit too many. Let's keep actually 1 more here. Okay, more or less balanced, something like this. This should be fine. Okay, now that we took care of our airplanes, we can take care of the navy very quickly. We're not going to do much with it, at least for now. So we're just going to select all of them and gather them in just one navy, so it's easier to manage them. As for what concerns the research, we are going to go for the usual in production and construction, as well as the engineering. And the last slot I will assign to range improvements. Now we have 3 civilian factories. We are going to use them to fill the, we'll build to the maximum in Toscana and in Lazio. And then we're going to pick our first focus, which is why actually we build in Toscana and Lazio. With Italian highways, we'll get maximum infrastructures there for free. Let's move on to the production. I don't want light tanks, and I want maximum first line of list of guns. 3 will be to support equipment, 5 will go to trucks. Then I will also add the production of towered artillery and anti-air, as well as civilian trains. We'll set them on 2, and that should cover all of our 20 initial military factories. Move these ones up so that I can see them more easily. They could have managed this tab a bit better in my opinion, but that's okay. We'll keep these airplanes production, although it's not very good. We'll replace them as soon as possible, but the efficiency is already a bit higher, so maybe you can get something out of it. And we will prioritize our lighter ships first. Okay, that covers all of the production tab. Next, we're going to prioritize operations and reinforcements, and we're going to train some infantry divisions. Now, I want 17 overall. I usually like to split them into a group of 7 and a group of 10. It doesn't change much, so that's up to you. And then I will also produce 3 light tanks. We stopped the production of Divisione Celere. We stopped the production of light tanks, but we still have enough for 3 divisions, so we are going to use them. As for the resources, we are going to import some from Siam, rubber from Siam. We don't care about the other ones. Next, we can just wait for Ethiopia. So we will wait until we have the air superiority here. And as soon as we get the air superiority, we will start our offensive. And we got the air superiority. We can start our offensive in Ethiopia. Now the southern army is usually doing fine. The northern army usually does fine too. But sometimes they get stuck a little bit. And if that happens, maybe you can force them to attack a bit more. The only thing we need to pay attention to here is the leveling up of our general. We don't want to level him up until we get bold attack. Which means actually we'll not stop the offensive because we want to end the war as fast as possible. But we will replace him if he gets too close to leveling up, which he will. So when he is at about 95%, like now, I will replace him with Ezio. Usually with Ezio, you're able to push enough to get bold attack. In case we're not, we can repeat the operation and replace him once more. We'll go for by any means necessary. And the offensive seems to be going fine. As we get these two regions, we should be getting we should trigger the event, which will give us enough army experience to take bold attack. So let's just see how it goes. We just need one more. And we're going to get it soon enough. With Sim, everything is going well here. Okay, we got it now. The message is not there yet, but it will come. Here the only thing I like to do manually is I like to send one division, Alpini or anything, and by pressing Shift, I assign them to cover the entire external border of Ethiopia. The goal is to extend the front line, so that we don't get stuck with so many divisions defending one region. Now, hopefully we'll get the event soon. Here it is. We got enough army experience now, and we can get bold attack. Now, we don't have to worry anymore about replacing the generals. However, once Ezio levels up, I do like to bring Visconti Prasca back, so that our first choice also gets a chance to level up his attack. Now let's see if we get the extra point in attack. We'll find out pretty soon. And we did not get the extra point into attack, so we're going to replace him back to Visconti Prasca. And let's hope that he can get the extra point. Also, no extra point with Visconti Prasca. He's still a decent general, so I guess I'm going to keep him, because we have more chances to get the extra attack point, of course. We're not very lucky with the first attempt. As for the war, everything is going fine. At this point, you can basically just let them go. You don't need to pay particular attention to it. We do get the triggered event for this country here, which we will just peacefully annex. This is an event that always triggers, but in historical they always accept. In non-historical, in my experience, they also always accept, but I assume there is a chance that they do not accept. Now we will want to try to protect it. Dude, yo! Okay, what's your issue? Oh, because of that. Okay. Sure. I'm just completely ignoring my orders. I could extend the front line here, but I just cannot bother doing that. It's fine anyway. Everything is going well. As for the political power, we're waiting to have enough to get the silent workhorse, so we maximize our political power gain. Okay, he will not advance there, but that's fine. He's keeping busy, 2 of their units busy, so that's fine. We push them in the southern part of Ethiopia as well. That's very nice. I assume that you are advancing there. It's also nice. Now they are defending Addis Ababa, which makes sense. But as you can see, the unit that we sent to the external borders is doing a great job. He's easily taking their land. And although there are not many victory points there, that still counts. It's still going to increase our overall war score. And it will allow us to end this war a bit faster. We can actually push there. Now, you want to end this war by the end of March. Let's see how it goes this time. Okay, he's not pushing there anymore. You keep pushing there. Okay, we are at the beginning of March. Sometimes you can finish the war by now, but we are pushing quite well. It's not a big deal. And he leveled up. Did he get the? I think he got the extra point in attack this time. I'm not sure, but I think so. Okay, that's perfect. We got Ethiopia. This was fairly quick. We're just going to take everything. I'm going to confirm. Now we're going to stop our units and we'll send them all back to Italy. And we'll use a fallback line for that. Now at this point, we need to manage a bit our occupied territories, because we actually don't want to waste our garrisons in these regions. We are going to change our occupation law to no garrison in all of these places. Okay, perfect. And then we are also going to change the occupation law to local police force. We're not going to change the ones that we change manually, but for the next ones we want local police force. Okay, everything is done. Now let's just create a new theater for our airplanes. We'll stop them and we'll send them back to Italy. Everything is looking fine, and now we are waiting for political power or focuses to finish. Okay, we have enough political power to take Adelchi Serena, our silent workhorse. And we also finished one of our researches. We continue with mechanical computing. We haven't finished our range improvements yet, so we'll have to wait a bit longer before we can change our CAS airplanes. As for the focus, we go for Servizio Informazioni Militare. Okay, we got our range improvements. As for the research, now we continue with survivability studies. So we can change our fighters models as well. But first of all, let's change and let's clean up this page a little bit. There are too many things here. Let's remove most of the useless stuff from here. And we'll change this basic small airframe to our basic CAS design. We'll call it old CAS. And we're going to make it like this. It's very basic, but it's better than the default ones we have here. We're going to replace both of them with old CAS. Of course, we'll change one of these production lines to fighters as soon as we can reform the fighters too. Okay, here is the message about free dockyards. So at this point we add the production of a Duca degli Abruzzi class, so another light ship. We make it the priority. We leave 3 empty slots and then we increase the production of all of the heavy ships. At this point we don't have to worry about dockyards anymore for quite a while. Every once in a while it's better to keep the construction under check, because we don't want to waste our civilian factories on repairs. In fact, let's start building an infrastructure and a couple of civilian factories in Campania, and infrastructure and a couple of civilian factories in Emilia-Romagna, just in case we forget to check. At least we have something queued there. Okay, we finished another research. We can just continue with Dispersed Industry 1. Servizio Informazioni Militare is done, and at the same time we also got enough political power to change to war economy. Now the next focus is Triumph in Africa, and the next goal is to justify on Bulgaria. We'll wait until we have 46 political power, and then we will justify on Bulgaria. In this phase we are preparing for the next set of wars that we are going to fight, which will be with Bulgaria, Greece, Turkey and Romania. The order may vary slightly. At this point we go for the support weapons one. So we got enough political power. We're going to start justifying on Sofia. We also got our first spy, and we are lucky we got a seducer. We're going to use her on Bucharest. We want to form a collaboration government in Romania. Romania is the only tough nation that we're going to fight, relatively tough nation that we're going to fight. So it's worth having a collaboration government there, in my opinion. We continue with foreign affairs as for our focuses. For our political power, we actually can already take the ground support specialist. We are taking him mostly for the air experience, so that we can reform our fighters, change our fighters. Okay, we finished the survivability studies, but we still don't have enough army experience to reform our fighters, to change our fighters. So at this point we just go for radio. Now here we go for army organization. Oh nice, another seducer, meanwhile, with our spies. Okay, we got foreign affairs, we got some of the divisions we started recruiting. We are going to go for Balkan ambitions. Okay, this is sad. And then I can save our spy in there. That's sad. Save the spy who got captured, despite the seducer trait. We're a bit unlucky in this case. Now, Balkan ambitions is almost done. We want to save political power because I want to send the ultimatum to Yugoslavia as soon as possible. Now we can already go for Pact of Steel. But before sending the ultimatum to Yugoslavia, which is a decision by the way, I want to recruit or deploy instantly all of the divisions which we're training, including those ones if possible. They are not really ready, but that's okay. We're also going to add another 5 divisions, infantry divisions here. And I also want to decommission these divisions here. Now the reason I deploy all of my units is that, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it may affect, or it would logically make sense that it affects the chances of Yugoslavia to or the chances that Yugoslavia will surrender. Now, from here we will split the Alpini divisions, the Camicie Nere militia, and we will split all of our colonial divisions as well. And from here too, we're going to remove the colonial divisions, and we're going to remove the Camicie Nere. I did not select all of them, did I? No, I didn't. As for the infantry, we're going to put all of our infantry divisions in the first army. Divisione Celere can go with the second army. They can go here, but actually there are too many, so we're going to remove some of these divisions and create a new army. I want the infantry, the good infantry divisions and the Alpini to be in the main army. We're going to assign Vecchiarelli to the Alpini divisions, and we're going to assign, I guess, Eziosi to the secondary army. As for these two, we are going to create a new theater, assign them to a new marshal. Badoglio is good for defensive purposes, and we're going to give them some generals that we don't plan to use, like Gozzoni and Geloso, on our main armies. And we are not going to use those generals because they they have the, what is it called, the All Guard trait, which reduces the amount of experience they get. That's a very bad trait. We are going to reassign these divisions up here, and now we're going to start training them, because we did deploy them early, so they are going to suffer a bit under that point of view. We can now send a ultimatum to Yugoslavia, which in my experience almost always accepts. If they don't accept, we're going to vary or to change slightly our strategy, but the main concept remains the same. And they accepted our ultimatum, so everything is going as planned. We're going to request their forces, so we get an extra 22 divisions. Not bad. Yeah, I need to form an army first, then I will assign them here, and I will give them another of these generals which we do not particularly like. Just make sure not to train them, because we don't want to waste equipment on them. And then I'm going to send them to the border with Romania. Now we do have enough army experience to change our fighter design, so let's start doing that. You can do it a bit later too, it's not going to change much. Drop tanks, armor plates. This is our basic old fighter. Not the best design, but it's going to do for now. And we're going to replace one of these two. And they have both. Okay, let's wait just until they produce one. Okay, this one. And replace it with old fighters. Also want to prioritize this one over the other one. And as soon as we get more military factories, I do want to assign them to fighters. I want to produce more fighters. So, how is it going here? Okay, our spies... well, I mean, they did save each other, but we lost all of our intel, so we need to restart from zero there. As for here, we go for Italian irredentism. We don't join the German Reich yet. There's no need to join them this early. For now, we are just going to do our things here in the Balkans. We're not going to pay too much attention to the German Reich. We'll join them after we are done with the Balkans area. Okay, we got enough political power for our captain of industry. This will speed up the infrastructures and the civilian factories. We're still going to build a few of them. Also, they are more expensive than the military factories. So we overall get more value out of him rather than the military factories one. At least for now. Okay, we finished a couple of researches. And at this point, we can continue developing our industry. So we're going for construction too. We're slightly ahead of time, but that's fine. And dispersed industry too. Yeah, we can actually join the anti-Comintern. Now here we are waiting to get our infantry expert. So we are waiting for 100 political power. And for the research, we can finish upgrading our industry. Now we got enough political power for our infantry expert, and we're going to continue. Okay, we finished Italian irredentism. Now we can continue with war with Greece. At this point, we can start assigning our divisions. So I will send the main infantry army to Bulgaria, and with an offensive splinterhead, take all of... sorry, it's not a splinterhead, it's a spearhead. Anyway. I will use mobile divisions to take Varna, I believe. And we'll use the Alpini divisions in the south, because the south is where they have the mountains. As for these other units, we'll send them south. They will plan a naval invasion of Greece later on. As for that, we will already prepare our fleet as well. We'll send half of it to Rodi, so they can cover these naval regions. Going to send them to Rodi as well. We don't want to lose this island. And then these divisions can actually go here, where they will not do much, to be fair, but they may keep the Greeks a bit busy with this front. They will spend some, they will keep some divisions there, and maybe free the southern part so that our naval invasion has higher chances of working. Let's also assign the planes since we are here. Let's get new ones too. And then I will send them all to Belgrade. We will assign all of them to Eastern Balkans. We do want some more buffs for our army, so let's also take the army regrouping. And then we'll also take some tactical bombing support there. Just a quick look at the buildings. Starting to be dangerously close to repairing. We don't want that. I want overall 30 available civilian factories. So we need 5 more. We are building 3. We just need 2 more. Let's see if Mussolini will be happy with that. So we are building a total of 5, and he gave us a mission which was to have 2 more than we have, so it's totally fine. After which we are going to start building military factories. A lot of military factories. Okay, we can just continue for now. Okay, we finished our research for radio. After radio, we're actually going for synthetic oil. We need this for some focuses later on. Other than that, it's not particularly useful for Italy. Okay, I guess we're getting closer to our claim on Bulgaria here. Okay, we finished the focus war with Greece. We continue with claims on Turkey. Now here, depending on the war tension, you may want to start all of these wars at the same time. Usually you have enough war tension space for Bulgaria first and then the other wars slightly later. Okay, we finished our claim on Bulgaria. We're just going to wait a bit longer until we get the claim on Turkey. And as we get the claim on Turkey, we can start our first war on Bulgaria. But last thing before the war, we get some tactical bombing. The claim on Turkey will arrive very soon. And after claiming Turkey, we're going for army primacy back here. And I would say we can start the war.